Okay, so my covers have been detached from the stroller and they've been washed in the washing machine and I put bleach in the water, but they're still stained horribly. You can still see some of the spots left behind where it had mildewed and molded. But it's been washed with bleach and baking soda and Tide. Alright, so to make my covers, I decided not to redo the entire cover because it's just too much work. So I found a fabric that has some navy blue in it. I cut out a rectangle that's slightly bigger than the cover, the main part of the cover that's actually going to show. And I took, this is the back seat of the stroller. And this piece goes underneath here and connects with Velcro. And this comes up through the hole. So I took that piece off. And I've cut my rectangle out. That's going to go on top of it. And now I'm just fitting it to it. Because I'm going to sew on some strips of Velcro all along here. And down at the bottom here. And also, don't forget to sew one right here where the seat bends at. This is like where the bottom sits and the back will be here. You want to sew a piece there so it doesn't shift around. So, I'm going to finish pinning it to the size of this so I can start sewing my Velcro onto it. And also, you need to mark where these holes are. And you can use your buttonhole option on your machine, depending on how your machine is sewing, to finish the edges on this one here. So you can put your pieces back together.
See, this is a proper Girl Scout.
Alright, so the fabric has been pinned in place. The edges have been pinned. You can see, so I know the size, so I can sew around the edges. And I've marked, just with a black washable marker, where the holes are for the straps. So I'm just going to use like my buttonhole maker to serge the edges right there, and then use my seam ripper to open it up. Looks pretty cute. Alright, be back. I also need to cut out a piece for the seatbelt because this piece comes up through the hole and you'll see it. So it needs to match that fabric. So I'm just going to place some of the fabric underneath and cut out a quick shape of it, pin it down, and sew it. I could sew it straight to it. It doesn't have to be replaceable, this piece.
What are you taking a picture
Alright,
of?
the piece for the front seat here is going to be a little trickier. So I'm actually going to have to pin it and sew some extra seams in it for this one. Alright, so first thing you need to do is turn it inside out. So this is the wrong side of the fabric. See? That's the right side. Wrong side. Next thing you want to do is you want to push your fabric down in here like this. And then you're going to kind of try to pinch it up. Sorry, can't really see. And you're going to pin it so it comes out like this. And then that's going to give you that shape that you need so it fits on this perfectly when you flip it back to the right side. Alright, so I'll pin it and then I'll come back and show you. Okay, this pattern is really hard to see this with. If it was solid fabric, it'd be easier. But it's kind of like a wedge shape for the seat that you're pinning, because this is actually going to be a seam. And you're going to take this off and flip it inside out. Now, while I was doing this, I found it was actually easier to kind of hold this upright so you can get the exact angle that you're going to need. And also to pin the fabric like in the middle in different places to hold it still. But I'm going to flip it inside out and then I'll show you what I mean. Here's the reason why we have to do all this pinning and everything. Because when the seat sets, you see how to have this extra triangle. So you can actually cut that triangle out and then attach it to this whole piece, which probably is easier than my so-called lazy way of doing things, which is just to pin it, because I really don't feel like planning and cutting out a bunch of different patterns. So hold on 1 second and I will show you how it fits so far. Okay, so I flipped it inside out. I don't have it pinned down exactly. Sorry, I know I'm sitting on the floor in my sewing room doing this. But you could kind of see how it gives you that triangle shape. And once you hem it and you put the Velcro down, it'll stay in place. And you should also put an extra strip, just like you did on the back seat, either right where they're behind in the shoulders, that seam right there, in the crease of the seat. So that's how that one's coming along, and I'm going to finish tucking and pinning. Then I'm going to start this one here, this front seat. You need to wrap it all the way around this front, because that's going to show. So make sure when you cut it, you oversize your piece so you have enough to wrap around underneath. And then mark your holes just like you did on your other one. Ow, just stuck myself with the pin. So yeah, my poor stroller is like done. Alright, so I'll be back once I've gotten some stuff sewn.